The sky was still dark the morning Elena Parker received the phone call that would twist her world into a shape she no longer recognized. She was brushing her hair in the bathroom, preparing for a routine checkup she wasn't worried about. She lived clean, lived honest, lived careful. No risky behavior, no secrets. Just a simple life with a simple husband she thought she knew. Her ringtone echoed through the small apartment. She answered on the third ring, still holding her hairbrush, expecting a confirmation call or maybe a reminder. But the voice on the other end sounded heavier, clipped, too steady to be delivering good news. "Mrs. Parker, your blood test results are ready. I need you to come in." She didn't feel fear yet, just mild annoyance. "Can't you just send the report or email it?" A pause followed, a long one. "I can't give this over the phone." Her hand tightened around the brush until the bristles bent. Something cold slid down her spine. She hung up without another question because her mind was suddenly too loud to hold a conversation. She took the fastest shower of her life, barely dressed, and ran to the clinic. Derek insisted he'd drive her, and she let him because she didn't have the energy to argue. He kept looking at her with small flickers of something, not fear but anticipation. He gripped the wheel like a man, waiting for a fuse to burn out. When they arrived, they were taken into a private room. A doctor she had never met before entered, carrying a clipboard he held like a shield. "Elena," he began, "your test came back positive, HIV positive." The room spun before she even realized she was breathing too fast. "No," she whispered, "that's impossible, I don't." Her husband placed a hand on her back. It should have comforted her. Instead it felt foreign. Wrong. Something about the way his palm rested just lightly enough to appear supportive but not enough to sink in made her stomach twist. "I'm so sorry," the doctor offered. But she didn't hear the rest. All she heard was her own heartbeat, fast and loud, the rhythm of a life cracking open. The drive home was silence broken by Derek's forced attempt at sympathy. "We'll get through this," he repeated. "It's not a death sentence anymore. You'll take treatment, keep strong." She stared at him. "How did this happen, Derek? How? We've been together, loyal. I haven't done anything, have you?" "What? No, of course not. Don't do that. Don't blame me." His voice sharpened too quickly for a grieving husband. She turned away, watching the streets blur through the window. Something was wrong, deeply wrong, but grief clouded everything. It followed her into the apartment, wrapped around her through the night, and stole sleep from her eyelids. But by morning, her grief hardened into suspicion. She retested, secretly, alone. And the second lab said she was negative, completely, clearly negative. 2 conflicting results within 3 days, one claiming disease, one claiming health. Not a mistake, not a lab error, something intentional. Then the puzzle began to take shape the way crime scenes slowly reveal an outline. She went through the financial statements because she needed something, anything, to untangle the knot in her stomach. And that's when she found the transfer. $5,000 to a man named Dr. Calvin Rourke, lead scientist at Apex Clinical Diagnostics, the same lab that told her she had HIV. Her blood turned to ice. The dots weren't just connecting, they were glowing. She looked at Derek differently after that. Every movement, every word, every expression. She saw the cracks. She saw the guilt in the way he avoided her eyes, the impatience in his voice when she brought up retesting. She saw fear leaking from him when she said she felt better emotionally and wanted to review everything carefully. He didn't want careful, he wanted chaos, wanted her too broken to think clearly. But Elena Parker was never the kind of woman who stayed broken for long. She drove to Apex Clinical Diagnostics the next morning wearing a calm expression that was unnatural even to her. The receptionist, a young woman with bright nails and bored eyes, asked if she had an appointment. Elena smiled, a small, sharp smile she didn't recognize on herself. "No appointment. Tell Dr. Rourke that Elena Parker is here." His name hit the room like static. Within minutes he appeared at the hallway entrance, mid-40s, badly shaved, glasses slipping down his nose. And when he saw her, panic flickered across his face so fast anyone else would have missed it, but not Elena. He invited her into his office. She followed. He closed the door behind them. She didn't sit. "You know why I'm here," she said. He swallowed hard. "Mrs. Parker, if this is about your test." "It is," she interrupted, "and the $5,000 my husband sent you 3 days before the test." His face drained of color. She watched him like a predator studying prey. So I'll ask this once, did you falsify my HIV results? He stuttered, blamed computer errors, lab mishaps, rare anomalies. He tried everything except the truth, but when she pulled out a printed copy of the bank transfer and placed it on his desk, he caved. I was pressured, he whispered. Your husband paid, he said he needed the result changed. I didn't ask why, I just... You ruined my life, she said, voice trembling. You wanted to ruin it, you wanted to ruin me for him. It was one result, he pleaded, and people don't usually retest so quickly, I thought. You thought I'd just accept I had HIV, accept a lie that would change everything. You thought I'd quietly fall apart and disappear. She leaned closer. Wrong woman. He was sweating now, hands shaking. What do you want? She reached into her purse and placed a small recorder on his desk, pressed a button. A small red light turned on. You're going to tell the truth. He hesitated, scared. Then he spilled everything. The bribes, the altered reports, the pressure from administrators to meet quotas, the quiet deals with insurance companies, the falsified pregnancy tests for women whose partners paid for drama, the disguised cancer markers that pushed patients toward more expensive diagnostics. It wasn't one rotten apple, it was a forest of rotting trees. She let him talk for nearly an hour. When he was done, she turned off the recorder. Thank you, she said simply. Then she left, and Dr. Rourke realized too late that the calmest expression is the deadliest warning. Elena didn't go home. She drove straight to an investigative journalist known for exposing medical fraud. His name was Joseph Marlin. She had read his articles, watched his interviews, seen the lives he had saved with his reporting. She handed him everything, the audio confession, the financial statements, the screenshots of altered email timestamps she found on public servers. He listened without interrupting, his eyes narrowing with every detail. This is massive, he said. You know what will happen once this starts. I'm counting on it. He leaned back. You're not afraid. I was afraid, she said quietly. They took that from me, now I'm something else. Joseph worked fast, faster than she expected. He dug into Apex Clinical Diagnostics, found former employees, found patients with suspicious cases, found insurance patterns that made no sense unless a system was rigged for profit. Meanwhile, Derek grew nervous. He tried to check her phone, tried to monitor her steps, tried to ask why she kept leaving the apartment. She simply smiled at him the way a wolf might smile at a wounded animal. When he asked her why she didn't seem sad anymore, she answered, I'm healing. He didn't understand the kind of healing she meant. 2 weeks later, federal agents raided Apex Clinical Diagnostics at sunrise. The images flooded every news station. Scientists in lab coats being escorted out in cuffs, boxes of documents carried to black vans, hard drives seized, administrators shouting about misunderstandings while agents ignored them. Dr. Rourke stood outside in handcuffs, trembling. Reporters swarmed, cameras flashing. Someone asked him if he had anything to say. He murmured, I'm sorry, but no one listened. Elena watched the live broadcast with the calmness of a woman who had been set on fire and decided to walk through the flames instead of screaming. Then the next wave hit the people, patients who were told they had diseases they didn't, mothers told they miscarried when they hadn't, couples broken apart by false infidelity implications, job applicants rejected due to fake drug tests. So many stories emerged that Apex became the most hated name in the city within hours. Lawsuits piled up like a tsunami. Investigations opened. Licenses suspended. The CEO fled the state. Executives lawyered up. The lab's reputation collapsed like a tower made of dust. And Derek Parker silently panicked. Because when the journalists dug deeper, they found the financial connection between him and Dr. Rourke. They uncovered the motive. They wrote the headline that froze him in place. Husband paid for false HIV result to trap wife in marriage. His family cut him off. His friends stopped picking up the phone. His employer suspended him. Everywhere he went, people whispered. Elena filed for divorce the next day. She didn't argue, didn't shout, didn't even look at him with hate. I'm free now, she said simply. In court, she won everything, the house, the savings, the investments. The judge read the case summary and gave her what he called ethical compensation. Derek tried to protest, but no one wanted to hear a man who weaponized disease. He moved into a small rented room across town, living with the knowledge that he had destroyed himself far more effectively than Elena ever could have. Months passed, Apex Clinical Diagnostics officially closed, all employees indicted, new regulations introduced statewide to prevent anything similar from ever happening again. Elena became something unexpected, a speaker, an advocate. She guided victims. She appeared in interviews explaining how easily medical corruption can hide behind professional titles. She became a beacon for people who had been silenced by institutions that should have protected them. But through it all, she stayed grounded, living in a new apartment with plants she kept alive even when she couldn't sleep, going to therapy, volunteering at a foster program. She reclaimed her life piece by piece. And sometimes, when she walked past a hospital or clinic, she felt a little sting of memory, but it didn't own her anymore. The truth had set her free the same way fire purifies a forest. She didn't destroy Apex Clinical Diagnostics out of revenge. She destroyed it because justice demanded it. Revenge was just the echo that followed. Her story became a warning whispered among corrupt professionals, as if she were a storm waiting beyond the horizon. Never underestimate a woman who knows the truth. Never underestimate a woman who has been betrayed. Never underestimate a woman who refused to die from a lie. Elena Parker didn't just bring down a laboratory. She brought down an empire built on deception. She walked through the ashes and rebuilt herself into someone the world couldn't ignore, someone powerful in her quiet strength, relentless in her pursuit of justice, unstoppable in her truth. And the world learned something important. A woman who survives false death will always rise stronger than those who tried to bury her.